There's more! It was awful! I'm back! CGI shit!
I rest my case.
It was fucking horrible!
Hey guys, what's up? It's BigJackFilms here, and welcome to a brand new opening night! Oh my god, yeah! A new movie! How often do I go to see these? I say that a lot in these videos when I see a new movie, but needless to say, I kind of have a summer movie blockbuster kick now. Good to be back after the finale's done, which took forever, but I got some things to say about today's picture. Today I'm here to talk about a movie that, my god, all of you want my opinion on. I've gotten so many, messages, requests, emails, comments, people saying, "Hey Jack, you did a reaction video. What are your thoughts on Transformers 7? That's the 7th film, right? Or just Transformers Rise of the Beasts. This is the Transformers movie that introduces Beast Wars, which was my generation's Transformers, and it's obviously, part of the live-action series. You're probably wondering, okay, is this, just the all in the same, the Michael Bay movies? So, let me just give you my kind of rundown of the Transformers movies, just for a recap. If you guys want to know my thoughts, as a Transformers fan, I grew up with Beast Wars, so if you want to see my thoughts on it, go check out my King Kong review of Beast Wars Transformers. That was the first episode of Season 7, actually, and you'll get my opinion on that. But when it comes to the movies, the theatrical films, first of all, the 86 film, believe it or not, I've never fully watched. I've seen most of it, but again, I never grew up with G1, so it kind of has been something kind of before my time, so maybe someday I'll watch it all the way through and give it my overall thoughts, but I've seen most of it, and from what I've seen of most of it, it's good. The soundtrack kicks ass, but that's most 80s movies. The animation's beautiful. I know the whole Optimus dying, and that broke a lot of kids' hearts. It's just, guys, toy commercials, come on. But it's a good movie, and Orson Welles is great, and all the voice actors are good. It's a good film. From what I've seen from reviews, from what I've seen most of it, I think I've seen maybe about 85 to 90% of the film, so there's that. The first Michael Bay movie, when I heard they were doing a Transformers movie, I'm like, what? Okay. The teaser I really like. I still love that teaser from 2006 where they fucking go and take the NASA thing to Mars and the Transformers there. That was a really good teaser. But I do like the first Transformers by Michael Bay. It's when he was competent and made a good film, but it's mostly, I think, because of Spielberg. They were watching over him and making sure he didn't fuck it up. So I really dug the first one. I hate the second one, Revenge of the Fallen. Again, the teaser from the Super Bowl, great fucking teaser to set up a sequel. But it just sucked. And I know it's because of the writer's strike at the time and all the shit like the racist robot skids and mud flap and all the bullshit they've done. Also, the effects look terrible in that one. That's some of the worst effects in the series. I did not like Revenge of the Fallen. I surprisingly really dug Dark of the Moon. I love how dark and gritty it got. I love how the last third, which of an almost 3-hour film, is just a giant battle. As you saw with my Ready Player One, I took note. I love that whole battle in Chicago. Kick fucking ass. I really did not like the fourth one, Transformers Age of Extinction. Waste of the Dinobots. They look awful. Waste of Mark Wahlberg. And also, that's when Michael Bay got really kind of creepy, and I was like, Michael Bay, what the fuck are you doing? Please stop. And it's also, I'll admit, I feel really bad for Peter Cullen because, a great guy, I've met him once, really nice dude. Because he's just spent all these movies, the first one, he's having a good time. When you get to 2 to 4 and shit, you can tell he's got to take the check. but he's saying stuff that you know Optimus Prime would not say, just what, we will kill them all. Like, I'll admit the third one, I do like at that point he gives zero fucks, and he's just murdering Decepticons because he's so done, he's showing no mercy. Great shit. But after that, it's like, he's tired. He doesn't want to do this shtick anymore, making Optimus just a cold-blooded killer. I did not see The Last Knight because it is really fucking bad from what I heard, and also there is stuff in it that I said, okay, Michael Bay, you're fucking done. You're a terrible human being. I will boycott this movie. I will not see the shit. I don't care what's in it. Fuck it. I'm not watching it. I did not see The Last Knight at all. Fuck that piece of shit. I refuse to see it. It's on my blacklist. But then came along Bumblebee, which a fan was gracious enough to send to me as a mail-in. If you guys want me to review certain movies, you can either support me on Patreon or you can mail me the movie, which we're going to do a mail unboxing soon, which is pretty cool. But to the point, Bumblebee I did as an opening night a while back, and I liked it. It's a good film, but I do think it was just over-drenched with 80s, and to be honest, I got fucking sick of it, because Stranger Things, I'm done with the 80s. Like, I love the music, don't get me wrong, I'll listen to the music from the 80s forever. But when it comes to the culture, the pop culture references, fucking done. So there's my thoughts on the films. But now we're at the 7th film in the franchise, which is a sequel to Bumblebee. Because remember, Bumblebee is not a prequel now. It's essentially the reboot to the entire Transformers series going forward. And Rise of the Beasts. What to say about this one? Short version, this movie's awesome! I had a damn good time with this one. Not just as a Beast Wars fan, not just as a guy who's kind of somewhat enjoyed these films and the action and the summer blockbuster entertaining films, but the shit they do in this one, it's charming, it's adventurous, it's fun, it's exciting, it's got so much heart and effort from the filmmakers who love the entire lore of the Transformers. It's got everything, like the whole Transformers lore is in this film, and beyond, which I'll get to later on, but I will easily say this is the best one, not just since the first film. This is the best one since the 86 film, and I haven't even watched that fully. And this is the best one. I loved the hell out of this. Like, surprisingly enough, you think, Jack, Transformers 7, one and the same as the last few. It can't be that good, can it? Yes, it can. I have some minor issues with it, but let's get into the plot of this thing. So, it's a direct sequel to Bumblebee. We jump forward, not from the 80s, we're out of that decade, and we're in the 90s, which I loved this. And not just the 90s, 90s New York. This is the first Transformers I think we've settled in New York City, which I really love that idea. Like, cool, let's get the Autobots and them in New York. Maybe they'll come across the Ghostbusters and shit. I mean, fuck, they're filming the next one right now. But basically, you have this guy. I don't know who the actor is, but I swear he looks like 8-Bit Mickey. It's this guy who's trying to get a job, who's a military guy, who is trying to get a job at some sort of place to work at. His brother's sick, and he's taking care of his little brother, and they live in this little crummy apartment in the 90s in New York. Now, I should say, because this is New York in the 90s, there's a lot of shots of certain skyscrapers and some imagery that has caused some stirs, but I'm actually really surprised, and I hold a lot of praise to the filmmakers that they had the balls to do that, because, you know, most people would say you can't do that, you can't touch that, it's sensitive, it's a sensitive subject, but it's like, at this point, who cares? We're past that, let's move forward, let's bring this up, let's make it a period piece, let's go for it. But it was good. Like, I did like that they included that moment, or included that, and didn't do anything, and they didn't dwell on it, right? So we're in New York, and he's trying to get this job. Meanwhile, you have this woman who works in a museum who basically comes across this artifact, which apparently holds the key to the Transformers, of course. And then, of course, some evil Transformers show up, and they're going to try to grab it, but then the Autobots find it, and they think, oh, this is our ticket home, let's go. All this chaos and adventures ensues. We go to Peru, and they come across the Maximals. Yes, we are finally at that stage of the films where we are getting into Beast Wars, which, yes, I have been waiting for this one for a very long time. And we are introduced to the Maximals with Optimus Primal, not voiced by Gary Chalk, he's voiced by Ron Perlman, Cheetor, Rhinox, and Air Razor. There are only few Maximals in this, so unfortunately, no Rat Trap, no Dinobot, and I'll say this as a minor spoiler, no Predacons. No Predacons in this one. I'm a little disappointed with that, but we'll get to that in a sec. So, it's all about battling the Terracons and the looming threat of the planet-destroying Unicron. Yep, we have boycotted the films. Unicron is now well represented, by the way. Great Unicron in this. And it's all about saving the world while the world waits for more shit to happen. So, yeah, this movie's amazing. I would highly recommend it. Not just the fact that it's a damn good action film, a great Transformers movie, but what it sets up for things to come is worth investing in this one so we can get the next chapter. I normally am like, oh my god, let this shit die, it's over, but this is now I'm engaged. Now I'm invested. I want to know what happens next. So, I'm gonna probably put spoilers later on in this, but basically, like, this is a good one. The action's great, the characters are good, the acting's actually pretty decent, and oh my god, Peter Cullen is still fantastic as Optimus Prime. You could tell at this point, because, like, what, the guy's like 80 now? You could tell he's pretty much saying, I want to retire from this, and some of it, you could tell he's a little tired. But you know what? I like the fact that they made Optimus somewhat of a tired soldier. He doesn't want to do this anymore. He just wants to take his Autobot brothers home. And it's a good arc for him. I like it. Ron Perlman, let's get to the Maximals, because that's the one you guys want to know about. So, Ron Perlman does a really good job as Optimus Primal. I was impressed how good it was. When the Maximals showed up, I felt like a little kid again watching Beast Wars, and, do I wish some of them had more dialogue? Absolutely. The standout performance, actually, outside of Ron Perlman, is actually Michelle Yeoh as Air Razor. Air Razor gets a whole storyline. She's the most seen Maximal on screen, and as a kid, I didn't really give really much of a shit about Air Razor, but now I actually can see, okay, Air Razor's a great character. I can really appreciate it now that time has passed and I've seen this performance by Michelle Yeoh. She's really good at this. The human characters are also really good. There's a lot of great moments with them. I love the fact this is set in the 90s and, like, we open with all the 90s, pop culture in New York. The little brother comes in wearing a Mighty Morphin Power Rangers t-shirt and playing a Game Boy, and he's playing, I think, Super Mario Land. Okay, I'm all for doing period pieces in the 80s when it comes to pop culture, but why does every fucking kid have to play a Game Boy? I know the Game Boy was popular. I get it. I totally understand it. But is it the only thing he can use? Can he use, I like the fact in the subway you see a Walkman, but, like, can the kid wear a Walkman? Or let him play a fucking Sega Game Gear. That shit was cool too. Or have him wear one of those Tiger Electronic wristwatches. Like, at least something other than a Game Boy. I get the Game Boy was a huge thing. It's a cool Easter egg to see. But, guys, we're already starting to overuse the Game Boy. First Space Jam 2, then Tetris. The Tetris movie was great, by the way. And now Transformers. Come on. Something different. So, that was cool. I like the fact that apparently they named one of them Sonic. So, this is around the time I think the Super Nintendo and Genesis were out. So, that was cool. The human characters are great. The Maximals are great. But again, the Autobots are cool. So, Peter Cullen's great as Optimus Prime. We have Mirage, great fucking character. Bumblebee, I'll get into spoilers in a sec, but Bumblebee's got some cool moments in this one, especially by around certain areas of the film. He's good. And then RC's also a great addition. I love seeing RC from the 86 film. And everybody else is great. Like, the whole movie's just a fun ride. Now, the special effects are hit or miss here and there, but you know what? It's the 7th film in the series. I'm invested in what's going on. I can believe that the characters are there. The cars look great. Like, you could tell everybody on the cast and crew had a lot of fun making this, and it shows, and it's just a good time. The Terracons are really good, intimidating, and so is Unicron. So that's pretty much all I gotta say about non-spoiler stuff. Now we're gonna get into the spoilers quickly. First and foremost, they kind of lead in. I'll start with the negatives I have with the film that do go into spoilers. First of all, I feel like Unicron was just kind of there, didn't hold much of a presence. I get he's this planet-destroying entity of a Cybertronian, but I really think they should have had him more in the film. But again, it's okay. I just feel like he was kind of shoehorned in because the Terracons weren't enough. But thankfully, spoilers, he does survive to live another day. So we will probably see Unicron again at some point, which, by the way, this is the first Transformers movie where there are no Decepticons at all. No Decepticons found on the planet. And on top of that, no Predacons. That is my biggest pisser. You bring in the Beast Wars, you bring in the Maximals, you couldn't bring in the Predacons? Come on, like, I would have loved to have seen Predacon Megatron, voiced by David Kaye, coming in saying, two Optimuses to destroy, yes! Like, how cool would that have been? So maybe the next one, I'm counting on the next one, they're gonna bring in the Predacons. And yeah, so there's no Megatron in this, there's no Starscream, no Decepticons, no Predacons, no Pterosaur, Scorponok. Oh, no, Scorponok is in this movie. There is a Scorponok, but there's like multiple Scorponoks, which, okay, that's okay. I'm okay with multiple Scorponoks, because Scorponok is awesome. But no Pterosaur, no RaisorBlade, no Tarantulas, no Black Arachnia, none of that, which, again, I'll count on the next one. Y'all better bring back Scott McNeil to voice Dinobot. I want Dinobot. Come on. Please. And in terms of other nitpicks, no Rat Trap, no Tigertron, really, that's about it. The rest of the Maximals are there. Air Razor's death, I actually think, was handled pretty well. I wish Rhinox got a line. I wish they could have gotten Richard Newman, but that was okay. Cheetor got one or two lines. He could have benefited from more. I would have loved to see him go to Optimus Primal and be like, alright, let's kick some ass, big bot. Like, he should have been with fucking Mirage. I think they would have gotten along really well. Rhinox doesn't utter a word, although I did like that they did the thing where in the big battle, Optimus Primal does say, Maximals, maximize! I'm like, okay, yes, you did the thing. Thank you. And I love how they revealed their robot form for the very end. That was cool. That actually added to the battle. And by the way, fuck me, that battle was good. That was awesome. That was like Avengers level awesome. Sure, there's not many like Maximals and Autobots and Decepticons and shit, but it was still a decent, fun battle. Peter Cullen's giving it his all. There's great moments where, like, you know, Primal will, like, knock out a fucking Terracon, and Optimus will be like, that was my kill. I'm like, oh, they're having a blast with this. Great time. I love the fact that the human characters finally get to use Transformers tech for their own weaponry. Like, the guy, the 8-bit Mickey guy, he's got this fucking, like, Autobot power glove that's able to light up and shoot lasers and shit, but then later on, fucking Mirage gives him a fucking Mega Man suit. He's Mega Man! I'm surprised they didn't make a Mega Man reference where, like, he's shooting shit from his wrist and they're like, who are you? And he's like, I'm Mega Man, bitch! Like, how cool would that have been if he just said I'm Mega Man? Like, oh, yeah, let's go. Although I did like they called him Sonic. That was cool. So, like, okay, when's Sonic gonna show up? But to the point, that battle was amazing. I was on the edge of my seat the whole time, which brings me to Bumblebee dies halfway through the film. I was shocked. I was like, there's no way they're gonna kill Bumblebee. They can't. Next to Optimus, he's the star of these movies. But no, what happens is that when all this shit's going down, and these waves happen, it turns out the planet is covered in raw natural energon, like Megatron says, yes, raw natural energon crystal. I did like they added that because, again, the Transformers and Beast Wars do land on prehistoric Earth, so the fact that there's energon on the planet, that's cool. And again, that saves up for the next time when the Predacons show up. So I like the fact that there's energon, and that brings Bumblebee back to life. And then he fucking jumps in like goddamn Iron Man from like a fucking the convoy where like they fucking drop troops in on the fucking aircraft carrier, and it was really cool. He was coming in, he's like, I love the audio references they use. Like there's one point where he's quoting Spaceballs. What the hell am I looking at? When does this happen in the movie? And then when he brings out the gun, he's like, say hello to my little friend. Like the references in Bumblebee's box was great. Loved that shit. That was awesome. Loved it. There's a lot of great references to other movies. E.T., Donkey Kong is mentioned. Like, there's some good references here and there. And then, yeah, so this whole battle is incredible. I like the fact they brought back music from the first Bay movie. That was cool to hear Arrival on Earth. That's a great fucking track. There's just so much to talk about. This movie's great. I would highly recommend everybody going to see this film. I had a blast. But then we gotta talk about that goddamn ending, folks. Okay, so there is, before the credits fully roll, so the 8-bit Mickey guy saves the day, we save the planet, we save the world once again, but then that catches the attention of the US government, because of course they have to show up. And when 8-bit Mickey guy gets an interview with this guy, and he says, oh, we know all about your Autobot friends, we know about your brother, in fact we're going to give him all the medical care, and he's like, oh, thank you, and so on. The guy opens a door on the wall, like the Batcave, and there's like this military construction's happening, and he says, here's my card. 8-bit Mickey flips the card, and I can't stress enough, I'm not fucking kidding what happens here. I was like, I literally spat my drink like, what? Paramount, you did not just fucking do that. No way, let's go. I'm in for number 8, let's go. Flips the card, and it's G.I. Joe! Yo, Joe! Let's freaking go! They're doing it! Hasbro is setting up a cinematic universe with their toy lines. It's not just the Transformers now. They're bringing in G.I. Joe. Let's freaking go. And like from the logo of the card, it's the movies that came out, Rise of Cobra and Retaliation. So are those canon? That is the big question. Especially Retaliation, because now the imaginations of what they could do, the possibilities are endless. We can now see the Decepticons, Megatron, and Cobra team up. The humans fighting with the Decepticons. The Joes fighting with the Autobots. Next movie, we gotta get that shit. I want Cobra teaming up with the Decepticons. I want the Joes with the Autobots. Let's freaking go. Let's get The Rock with Optimus Prime. There's your poster. There's your $1 million. He'll fucking do it. You can get him to do it. If you can get John Cena, you can get The Rock. Get him back as Roadblock. Let's freaking go. But it just opens up so much shit they could do now. Because think about how much Hasbro owns. I mean, they own Battleship. I don't know if they're going to count that. They own Inhumanoids, apparently. But, yo, the best part, they own Power Rangers. Now start doing the math. Autobots, Zords, do Power Rangers Transformers? Yes! I want this! I want the freaking Megazord with Autobot technology. I want to see not just Cobra and Megatron, but Lord Zed and Rita. In fact, you don't even need to do another fucking reboot, because that reboot was so goddamn bad of Mighty Morphin with that movie by Lionsgate. I think Lionsgate's just saying, Paramount, you can have it, I don't give a shit. But imagine what they could do with that. Imagine bringing in the Power Rangers lore, the entirety of the Morphin Grid, into the Transformers and G.I. Joe universe. It just opens up so many ideas. I mean, Paramount, let me be a part of these Skype meetings you have for, I'll give you a whole franchise. And that whole ending just opened things up. I'm just like, take that, Marvel! Eat shit! Disney's crapping themselves. This was great. Maybe it's because I got off the adrenaline of my big finale with the giant battle, but holy fuck, that last act of this movie, incredible, including the ending. I want to see the next one. So guys, I haven't felt this sort of cliffhanger, oh my god, they're doing this since the first Iron Man. Like, guys, go see this movie. It's incredible. Overall, Transformers Rise of the Beast, best one since the first one, best one since the original 86 film. It's one of the best films of the franchise, and it's now opened up a can of worms they can't go back on. Paramount, don't cut costs. Fucking do this shit. Bring in the G.I. Joes, bring in Cobra, bring in Humanoids, bring in Power Rangers. Just give Marvel, finally, good competition that isn't competent like the Snyderverse or DC right now, which I'll probably be seeing The Flash next because I'm on a summer movie high. This was a great film. I had a really good time with this one. I'd highly recommend it. This is a 9 out of 10. Decent time at the movies. Good stuff for the kids and families. Good time as a summer blockbuster with great action. yeah, this is one of the best Transformers out there, so go check it out. Highly recommend it. I don't want to talk too much, but if you have seen this movie, let me know in the comment section below. I am actually tempted to do a Kong review on this just because for Optimus Primal, having a giant gorilla, which, by the way, there's a lot of Kong cinematic moments. There's a moment that's straight out of the original. In fact, I think it might be straight out of the games. Like, you get the feeling the director played the Peter Jackson game in a couple of these visuals. So I'm definitely gonna probably do a review of this down in the future. It'll give me a chance to talk about the Transformers again, and also do something Kong related, but I loved this movie. Go check it out, but let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to support our Patreon. Just $1 more will get you early access to all of our content, including other special features. And join me next time. Next time's probably going to be The Flash. I have heard nothing but great things. I'm looking forward to this one. So let me know your thoughts. Just share this around, like, and so on, Patreon and everything. But until the next video, like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you guys later. This is BigJackFilms signing off saying, this movie wasn't just more than meets the eye. This movie was just prime. That's all I got. Until next time, take it easy. Go check out Rise of the Beasts.